Khalid Razick is a Palestinian-American trombonist, composer, and educator. His music utilizes Arab sensibilities in the scope of modern jazz. New York-born and Tampa-bred, Razick received his bachelor's degree from Berklee College of Music. He was mentored by the likes of Danilo Perez and Simon Shaheen. In 2024, he played at the Panama Jazz Festival with Billy Coben. Khalid's committee member is Tarek Rantisi. His advisor is Professor Witness Matlu. Please welcome to the stage Khalid Razick.
Thank you, Alexandra, for the introduction. Good morning, and thank you all for being here. My culminating experience project is entitled Eternal Flame, Reimagining Palestinian Folk Music. Through exploring the folk connection between the Palestinian song and global jazz, I've curated a musical project uplifting Palestinian existence and resistance. Being born to a Palestinian family in the United States, I've struggled to hold on to my identity. At its core is the cultural memory of a people whose place is firmly rooted in time. Through folkloric music, we tap into this vast memory of endless stories and collective genius. Unfortunately, one of the catalysts of this genius is oppression. Palestinian music written under oppression has an aesthetic quality of preserving folklore while simultaneously evolving in other ways, mainly lyricism. This was because the old song did not represent the daily lives of the people anymore, did not express the humiliation they were subject to under an occupation, nor the desire to return from exile. The people created a new song, the revolutionary song. Although the song changed, the roots remain. Today, this poses a question. In 2024, how do we as Palestinians express our daily realities? The realities of hyperglobalization, of displacement, the realities of systematic ethnic cleansing, and the reality of genocide in Gaza. We need a new song. For the past year at Global, I've been combining my experience as a jazz musician with my investigation into Palestinian folk music. At the Institute, I've incorporated new ways of playing form, harmonic progressions, and ensemble synergy in folk music. I was greatly influenced by tetrachordial harmony, George Garzon's chromatic triadic approach, comprovisation, and Wayne Shorter's zero-gravity concept. All of these musical aesthetics help me expand on the folk tradition in a way that is genuine to my experiences and circumstances. It's also notable to mention that I'm one of few to play Arabic music on the trombone. This involves learning maqam, microtones, and adopting Arabic ornaments for the trombone. Through my project, I hope to establish myself as a pioneer of Arabic music on the trombone based on a folkloric approach with a jazz background. My first song is Ya Zarif al-Tul, which refers to a tall and handsome Palestinian man, an urban legend symbolic of resistance. It's practically a sub-song style in the line dance known as debke. The song's many sets of lyrics are used in all facets of everyday life. The most popular tells Palestinians to stay close to their land. Please listen to this performance featuring Aya Khalaf singing with Halmiya Jalal, two wonderful singers who contribute to the folk tradition in Palestine. The song uses a maqam called bayati, which is very common in folkloric music. It contains two microtones, which we call neutral notes. They are represented with the symbol you see called a half flat. On the second degree, 1, and on another, a 6th degree, when it is ascending. The rhythmic cycle, or iqa, is known as sudasi. It is a 6/4 rhythm common in debke. However, it's often replaced with 3 bars of the 2/4 malfuth rhythm instead. When writing this for jazz musicians and 4 3-bar phrases, the form resembles a 12-bar blues. So, in my arrangement, I'm channeling the spirit of the blues through form and call and response. In the orchestration, I've quoted the melody of Ya Halali Ya Mali, a song often sung in weddings. This was also done by famous Jordanian singer Umar al-Abdullat. Now, we'll listen to my Palestinian blues and see this wonderful photo by Palestinian artist Ahmed Kinan. My next song is called La Yawm Tanadina, which means If One Day You Call Me. It's by Samih Shukir, a Syrian songwriter and musical activist. Through broadcasted concerts, Shukir's songs became beloved to the Palestinian Revolution. As a child, I grew up hearing the song through my father, who left Palestine during the Intifada, or uprising, in 1988. This song, along with others, sowed the seeds of my steadfastness and resistance. The song draws from the lower structure, or jints, of maqam rast, which has a neutral third. It also pivots very subtly to jins sika, which uses the same neutral third as the root. The rhythmic cycle is iqam al-fuf once again. Where my arrangement evolves the tradition is harmony and form. In Arabic music, it's common to solo on an open rhythm until Q. Instead, I chose to draw from my jazz background. I improvised over the song form and embedded melodic hits. This results in a more compositionally minded improvisation. Let's have a listen and see this image by Brazilian cartoonist Carlos Latuf. Thank you. Next, we go to Bint صغيرة فلسطينية, which means little Palestinian girl. It's by Khalid Razick, CEO of Tayur Jannah, a satellite channel famous for producing children's songs in the Arab world. They made this song known to many younger Palestinians. It is a song sung through the eyes of a little girl. Her father was killed by a Zionist soldier and her brother captured. After throwing a stone, she was brutally incarcerated. This song is her cry to humanity, and unfortunately, it reflects the lived experience of many children in Palestine. The impact and reach of such a song leads me to consider it folk music, put simply, music of the folk, and consequently challenge the imaginary that folk music exists in a vacuum, that it is not meant to evolve, reflecting the lived experience of the people now and forever. The song uses some maqamat, harmony, and the Saidi rhythm from Said, Egypt. Some concepts I used in the arrangement come from Coltrane changes, tetrachordial harmony, and comprovisation. Here's what it sounds like. Thank you. Now we go to Tarweed Shmali and Yatal Ain, which I've recorded in one track. These melodies come from a song style called Tarweeda, which scholars debate dates back to either the Ottoman or British occupation. It is a coded Palestinian language in which women would send messages to their loved ones taken captive to occupation jails. Many of these messages contain strategic information that could aid an escape plan. The women used tactics such as metaphors and interpolating the letter lam or L in between their speech. Here is an example of a powerful interpreter of this music, Reem Binna, performing Yatal Ain at TEDx Ramallah. Please follow along with the summary of the lyrics.
يا طالعين عين للجبل يا مول الموقدين النار بين لليمن يمان عين للهنا يا روح.
In Tarweed Shmali, I asked the band to comprovise over the theme. In Yatal Ain, I added harmony that provides movement and color while maintaining the integrity of maqam bayati. The rhythm is generally written going between a 6/8 and 4/4. Hearing more Afro-Caribbean elements of 6/8 all the way through, I chose to write the 4 as a bar of 6 and a bar of 2/8. Now, let's listen to the track and see this cartoon by Palestinian surgeon and cartoonist Ala Al-Laqta. Thank you. My final song is called Aluf Mish'al. Like my grandfather's grandfather, Mish'al was a man forcefully drafted into World War I by the Ottoman occupation. His lover's song of the despair of his exile is embedded in Palestinian social practices and is a song that still reflects daily life. It also carries regional significance and has been performed by Titan musicians such as Lebanon's Sabah Fakhri and Egypt's Mohammed Khairi. In my arrangement, I used tetrachordial voicings on Maqam Hijaz. My intro was influenced by the chromatic triadic approach to create a sense of wandering in the search for hope. Now, let's take a listen and see Naji Al-Ali's famous cartoon, Refugee Boy Handala. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I want to take this moment to thank everyone who was involved in the making of this project, Danilo and Marco, Witness and Tariq, and the engineers and artists involved in the recording process. This is Eternal Flame, Reimagining Palestinian Folk Music. Thank you.
Congratulations, Khalid, this beautiful presentation. And we start the second part with question and answer from the panelists. And I'm going to start with a panelist, which amazing percussionist and BJJ alumnus. I'm so happy to see you here, Tarek Rantizi. Please, any comment or question for?
Well, hello, and thank you so much, Khalid, for a beautiful project. And it's more relevant now than ever to talk about this within the current climate. Music is a very powerful tool. And as the Lebanese philosopher and historian Mahdi Amel says, you're not defeated as long as you resist, and music is resistance. It's amazing to see, music that I grew up listening to, performing and recording through your eyes and through the context of global jazz, and see how, working with Danilo and Marco and all the other faculty members and mentors opened up, this to make it happen. and it's beautiful to see, improvising over a form and using those folk rhythms and the maqam to express yourself and broaden your language. My question to you is, what is your approach to learning Arabic music and Arabic maqam?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, basically, after realizing that there was no reference for me in this music, I had to develop my own sound concept and my own method. And basically, learning maqam is like learning a language. So it's about listening, vocabulary, and trading phrases with a master and, expressing yourself. And it's something you can do also on any instrument. However, the more accessible microtones there are, the better. So I'm going to show one of the ways that I practiced microtones on the trombone was actually by modifying very seminal trombone exercises. So take Emery Remington's famed long tone exercise here. Famous trombonist Bill Watrous actually modified it from the downward motion you see here to expanding from the middle. What I did is further modify it to cover 24 tones instead of 12. So practices like these give me more control when I'm playing maqamat. Now, going through this process, it inspired me to begin working on an Arabic trombone method. Breaking away from a purely European pedagogy, I aim to connect young Arab trombonists to the folk music of their home countries. And if this method is successful, I hope to expand it from trombone to a variety of instruments, creating fundamentally Arab pedagogy for non-Arab instruments.
Okay. Professor Winnis Matlum.
Thank you, Khalid. Great to see you, and great to see how this work, came to this point where it's at, especially how important this day is to you today. And I would like to congratulate you on all the work. It's been great working together, all those weekly meetings. And I want to say thank you for, you've been wonderful as an advisee. And you did all the work, which sometimes it could be difficult to, get students to do the assigned reading and do the homework and turn in the work on time it is supposed to. And you've done the work. So that was a great pleasure for me working with you. And I appreciate that. Thank you for, this project. This is the type of stuff we really need. I've learned so much about the Palestinian people working with you, about the music and the history. And I feel like, this is something that I wish for everybody to experience, from the language, the songs of the people, and how songs evolved with developments in society. And songs used as codes to communicate, messages, how to escape, songs to communicate struggles. And, there's the blues inside of that, that we hear. And that's, music here has so much, the music has so much beauty in it. And, I hope people would experience that when they listen to that, when they listen to you. Do this type of presentations. I see you traveling the world, presenting on Palestinian folk music. I see you creating a course that, you teach this type of music and expressions, and don't just teach the music, teach the history too, right? Yeah, so my question is, I know we've talked, and I would love for you to kind of explain the importance of this project in our current times, what this all means to you during this time in the context of what is happening in Palestine right now. And the second question would be, how are your plans in using music to, educate people about your people? Thank you.
Thank you, Witness. So, through my project, showcasing the music, the culture, and the history of my people, it's through this humanistic lens that the project's important for the world to understand that we're human beings making this music and, having this culture. We're human beings, not terrorists, not beasts, and not human animals. And these are terms that come from a narrative to scapegoat the Palestinian people for the past 8 months, 18 days, and 76 years. They're terms used to justify the ongoing ethnic cleansing since then and today's genocide in Gaza. It's through culture, history, and music that we Palestinian people speak our own terms. It's our memory, our story, and our genius. The world may choose to educate itself, but in the meantime, I'm going to continue to share this music. I'm going to continue to perform, to teach this music, and to make more of this music.
Khalid, I'm gonna start, like I said, with Aditi. It's special to have an alumnus arriving at this point, and I've worked having had you in the family for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
right, 3 years I would say, right? So it's very special, and like Winna said, you really sort of like the example of a great student, because you're being consistently present from the beginning with an incredible curiosity and with such a steady presence in spirit and in person. And so I want to start there and recognize that about you, and to see you today, you make us all extremely proud. And in terms of consistency, you've been developing this narrative you're bringing today. This is so important message from the very beginning. This is nothing that just started this year. This is what I still remember the first time you performed one of your music at the forum. It's like within the first month of your first year, you were already playing this music and playing this story that was really, really very much present in your art. And so to see it develop so incredibly well, and how much inspiration you got as an artist and as an activist, it's really inspiring to me. One of the things that I was really noticing about your music that I like is that you really keep the folk musical element in the forefront of your arrangements, while truly creating a global jazz approach and a personal sound, but without diluting the source of the musical source that you're drawing inspiration from. And I think this is really, really beautiful. Also, I was asking Tarek about the use of trombone in folk music in Palestine, and he says it's not existent. So this is something that you're bringing also. And I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that, what that means for you, because I already see you're thinking about creating a method, which is really interesting. And beside that, I would love to hear what other final plans you have beside the trombone methods.
Thank you, Marco, for your question. So as you said, the trombone is really not something common in Palestinian folk music or in Arabic music in general. So one of the things that was, so daunting about this project, also daunting and freeing in a way, was that I had no reference for, who am I following, like what am I sounding like. It's all things that came from my investigation. It came from lessons with Simon Shaheen. It came from, playing in ensembles and having to figure out how to make this instrument work. So it's been a really beautiful process, but also I think something that the trombone brings is it's something new, it's something fresh, and also with my jazz background, it brings a global perspective, which I think is what the Palestinian people and the Palestinian music needs to connect with for its next evolution. And my future plans for this music and this project is to apply for grants to perform this music in the United States and continue contributing to elevate to my people's culture in doing so. I also plan to return to Palestine one day soon and connect with the music education community, in particular the Edward Said National Conservatory of Music in El Kamanjati. And once I do so, I'd want the chance to be able to showcase my music and propose a new curriculum that blends folk music and global jazz. And I want to start with workshops and make my way into the conservatories. And lastly, as you heard, I want to publish an Arabic trombone method, bringing folklore and trombone pedagogy together. And I hope that these performance and educational endeavors not only connect people with global jazz and something new, but actually our roots and our past, our present, and see what our future is going to be.
Thank you. Maestro Danilo.
Khalid, wow. Originality. You're tapping into a new sound there. It's your own sound. I can close my eyes and I can recognize you in the middle of a bunch of other musicians. I remember in Panama when you took out and stood up and played a solo with the Billy Coban Big Band. And I just closed my eyes and I could just feel that, Khalid, you're talking to. There's so much emotion and everything you're doing. And for me to witness the growth in your development has been outstanding. But I also recognize a commitment, consistency with everything you did. I remember one time when you came in to a private lesson and we slowed down a traditional Palestinian song you brought, remember? And we slowed down to the most, the most ridiculous slow we can do it. And you spent an hour with me and we went to every note and find all the nuances. And when you left, I said, consistency, this man is into something. You're into something. You are looking for a sound to express these emotions. And I just want to congratulate you. And I want to really acknowledge your incredible dedication, courage, and strength this year. You show us the potential. You did it. And I see the warrior spirit in you, regardless of what's going on. Your passion for music and the commitment with resilience, pursuing your dreams, being an example, keep pushing forward, and making an honor to your name, which I think it means eternal. Khalid means eternal. You're eternal. And you're an inspiration, and the Global Jazz Institute has the door opens for you, and I can't wait to be in your first class because I'm going to be your student. Thank you for giving back so much throughout all this wildness, craziness, and injustice this year that has been happening, and showing us how to behave and to carry ourselves with honor, ethics, to be ethical about what we do. We say what we mean, we preach what we are. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please give another round of applause to Khalid. Congratulations, Khalid.
Thank you so much.